And we're back.
No.
So, as the four of you take a long rest, Arya, I presume you are keeping an eye out as per usual.
Yes.
Okay. So, as you all take a long rest, Arya, as what you imagine to be sort of the early hours of the morning begin to roll around, you see coming up the stairs, or coming across the landing through the corridor, is a light. Walking down the corridor past your room, and as it gets within sort of visual range, you see a long dress, and turning the corner is names. Don't blank on me names. Lady Vasulia. You quickly avert your gaze from looking her in the face, but she, holding up a what looks like a lantern, but is actually more like a bell jar with a mushroom, a phosphorescent mushroom growing in it. She sort of like holds it up, like peers into your room through a crack in the door, and upon seeing the dome, just sort of lowers the lantern and carries on going. Headed in the direction of the master bedroom.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you want to do anything, that is the only thing that disturbs your rest.
Not really.
Okay. So, 8 hours pass, the dome fades, you all wake up. You are all fully rested.
Hooray.
And then,
Hooray.
presumably, you want to head out.
also,
Yes.
don't forget to heal up.
Yep.
Because I almost did.
I hadn't taken any damage.
Surprising that Grim has.
I took 4 points of damage.
Oh, fuck
Wow.
off.
Also, I got my Indomitable back.
Okay.
Did I award you guys experience for last session? I can't remember.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
No.
I probably should have
Like,
done that.
we're missing that for last session and another one, but we can look
Yeah,
at that later. I
let's
guess.
recap that later. I will remember to do that this time, because you guys are not close, but I think you are somewhere towards leveling up, aren't you?
No, we just had our level up. Didn't
Oh no,
we?
yeah, you just did, yeah. Yeah, that's fine
Yeah.
then.
Like just recently got level 12.
Won't make a difference then. Okay. Cool. You're casting Mage Armor, are you, Elizabeth?
Yep.
How long does Mage Armor last?
8 hours.
It's literally
Good
written right
fuck
there.
God. Oh, well, I didn't read that.
I didn't notice
Reading?
that
What?
quite some time.
Yeah,
Me
8
not
hours.
reading something? It's more likely than you think.
Yep. 8 hours of +3 to your unarmored armor.
Which increases my armor class from 12 to 15. Oh yeah.
It's nice.
Still the lowest in the party.
I mean, considering two of us wear heavy armor, that's not really that
Yeah.
surprising.
I mean, you're
Oh,
the same as
oh,
me.
wait. Oh wait, no, guys, I had taken damage. My arcane ward had taken 1 damage.
Oh, wow. Also, Elizabeth, we have the same armor class, actually, so...
Oh right.
With your Mage Armor.
There is a dog that has more armor than you.
There is a dog that has more armor.
But have you
Actually,
seen
she's-
that thing?
Why is your armor class that low? Oh wait, 'cause you're wearing medium armor, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm
still
not
have-
wearing heavy armor,
Yeah.
because it impedes my stealth.
Yeah. I
As is
thought
the
you were
short-
wearing light armor for some reason, and therefore would have your,
Nope.
your full like
Well,
dex bonus. but no.
Light armor would only increase Aya's defense by 1, I think, because she's currently wearing +1 magic armor.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
as a
right,
full
'cause
side
you
note,
don't
we
want
have never actually explored Lyra's lore that much, have we?
Yeah, we have.
A little bit, but
She's
Yeah.
the daughter
Oh.
of Lyra, and
well, I guess there's not that much more to explore.
She also
really.
needs to have her health fixed.
I can't do it right now. Oh yeah, I can. Well,
Yes, you
yeah, I
can.
can because I can click on her token.
But
Ooh. Power move.
yeah. Also, yeah, I think I might have more health than you though, Arya.
That's fine.
Yeah.
How much health do you have?
Well, 98 max hit points.
Oh well, fuck me. Yeah, I only have 76. So
Yeah, and I also have 29 hit points on my arcane ward.
yeah.
But do you have an 18 index or 20 index now?
Yeah, I have a 20 in dex, bitch.
I've got 20
Oh.
intelligence.
Also, there is
Eh.
one thing that I didn't mention. My mace of smiting,
Smiting.
very strong against constructs.
Oh snap!
I get
Oh, good
plus,
to know.
like it basically turns into a +3 magical artifact that executes items and deals an extra d6 damage.
Damn.
Oh, cool.
Holy shit!
Well, if
That'll come in handy here in a second.
yeah, if the armor-
Yeah, is Grim about to become the DPS of the party?
Oh no, well actually it only deals bonus damage on crits, but then it turns into 5d6 apparently.
Jeez.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, Grim might be about to become the DPS of the party.
That is quite brutal.
Because yeah, +3 still applies to your damage, so...
And then the fact that I always roll once won't matter.
as much.
Sometimes you don't roll ones.
I honestly,
Yeah,
I
sometimes he rolls 2.
that's fair. Oh, last time I did roll high once.
Yeah, you roll
Anyway,
pretty well.
should we actually head to the north now,
Well-
rather than...
Yes, let's do it.
Yes. I was going to say, do you want to take some time to examine the items that you found previously?
Oh yeah, we should
Oh, we
probably.
should do that.
Oh yeah,
that.
could we not do that as part of the long rest?
Well, you can't do it as part of your long rest, but I can say you could did it before if you wanted to do that.
I mean, yeah, that works too.
Okay. So, the 3 scrolls you have are the following 3 spells.
Ooh.
Oh,
Uh,
one of those is.
as well as the silver inlaid wooden wand that you found actually has innate magical properties.
Oh,
It's a wand of magic missile.
oh,
Oh,
Nice.
magic missile.
So I think I can just add that straight into your... wand of magic missiles. I can just drop that out. And in players' journals, all players. Yeah, whoever wants to use that can use it, can hold it.
yeah. Who should we give that to?
Who has the least ability to do magic damage?
Well,
Me. Well, I didn't Grim, I guess.
it's pretty
Well.
close.
Yeah, it's pretty close between you two.
I think that we should probably give it to you anyway, because I do have the magic weapon that's gonna potentially be good. But
Also,
whereas
it gives you magic range damage. Like, of the people more likely to be at range,
That's true.
you're more likely to be at range than Grim is.
you say
I
that
mean,
as
also-
if
But then again, yeah, Grim's also slower.
I
It
It
always-
also doesn't matter, like, if you're up close or not for magic missile, as long as you're in that long ass range, because it's not like attack rolls. So that's also not a concern. Like, it doesn't matter if Grim were to like whip that out right next to somebody and be like, "Yo, magic missile!" and it's just in their face.
Yeah. The only disadvantage of it is Grim cannot proc his class features off it, because it's not an attack action.
No, so maybe it is better to hand it to Arya than in that case, unless Grim really wants it.
I still have. I think I still have a beat of force. I do have one left, right?
I think
Yeah,
you have
one
one left,
left.
yeah.
Of course.
the power beads. Like, we got them in the first dungeon, and they've
Yep.
been so
They've
valuable.
been so valuable, yeah. Oh, talking of random magical items, I forgot to ask you when you were back at base. Your flare gun, the last charge of your flare gun was left with V, was it not? For her to be able to recreate multiple.
Let's see. No, like I started with 4 charges. We've used 2. So I guess if I had to leave one, I could leave one, and I would have 1 charge left.
Okay, yeah. I'm making sure we're keeping track of them because I didn't know how many you should have.
No, I've like been counting down.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's
I
fine.
have. I subtract 1. I'll subtract 1 for that, and then.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, you gave one to V so that she can potentially recreate more of them.
Yes.
Cool. So I guess that takes us to the outside world. And yeah, as you make your way through the town, the early morning light, you notice a couple of the eyeless shuffling their way through the streets back into the buildings. It seems like these creatures don't seem to enjoy the sunlight that much. And they prefer to stay indoors. You also notice that the Vrox that are wheeling around the top of the volcano don't seem to make any motions to head towards you. Oh yeah, you've got about the sword.
Yes.
Yes.
Let us do that because
How good can we stab things with it?
blah, blah, blah. I need to find the stat sheets for it because I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Magic item list.
Wait, Arya, was your melee weapon magical?
Yeah, she's got a magic sword.
Yeah, I have a magic sword.
Yeah.
It
or,
does
like,
Yeah,
frost
they can put out
damage.
fire.
Oh yeah, it was the frost one. It's just because
Yeah.
we haven't really used it that much yet. I was like,
The only time I've really used it has been to put out the fire.
Yeah.
yeah. Look, we're gonna remember how we yelled at you
Yeah.
for running in. Now we're gonna yell at you for not running in.
Yeah.
Please run in.
Please run in. You've got a magic sword.
You're sending me mixed signals here, guys.
Look, that's the whole point of
Yeah.
this exercise.
Yeah, we're gonna completely confuse Arya. Stop being so reckless, but also run in because you've got a sword.
Okay.
Also, yeah, those are some pretty interesting spells. I'd sure like to keep them forever.
Oh, that seems fair. Just a small eternity.
Okay.
Well, let's copy them into my spellbook.
Let me see if it is in the compendium.
I didn't
It
realize
is not.
I asked such a horrible question.
Okay, so yeah, I will explain to you what the weapon does. The magical weapon is capable of warning you of danger even when you're not aware of it.
Oh snap.
Whilst you are attuned to this item, and it is on your person, you have advantage on your initiative rolls. And additionally, you and any of your companions within 30 feet of you cannot be surprised except when incapacitated by something other than non-magical sleep.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have an attunement slot open, you can attune to that.
I think most of us have one, except Kelariis, right?
Yep.
I wonder how I feel like it might be useful to put it on Arya, because she's the one on watch most of the time.
She's also already got advantage on initiative rolls, though, and it
Yeah.
affects everyone near her. Well, it would affect anyone near the weapon as well.
Yes. So
So if we were sleeping, like as long as you were sleeping next to her.
yeah, I also want to point
So
out
bonus
that if you're asleep when it goes off, you're still aware of it. You will become awake.
Yeah.
So it's between you and me, Liz.
Well, what kind of sword is it? Oh wait, I can't use any swords. I don't have proficiency.
You do not.
Well, Grim it is.
Well,
And it is a longsword.
well,
Yeah. Unless you want to try and teach me how to use a sword in the space of a day.
well,
It's also a hella big longsword for Grim, but that's perfectly fine because you're still proficient in it. It's just very big.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a longsword is probably as long or longer than Grim.
It's probably a great sword for him.
Does it have any plus modifiers? Or
It does not. It doesn't have a plus modifier. It's just a magic weapon.
okay. That actually puts it on par with my current weapon.
Also, you've got the worst initiative out of both of us, so you'll get the extra chance to be higher in the
Yeah,
initiative.
that probably will help.
I'll just call it Dangerous Sword for now.
Dangerous sword.
Danger!
Danger sword!
Okay, so yeah.
Grim the magic danger sword.
Yeah, so I'll copy the precise text.
Telling him when trouble's near.
There you go.
I'll just copy it into something and bam.
Oh, and it automatically wakes all of us. That's awesome.
Yes. So yeah, you have the sword strapped in to your back. You're attuned to it, and you head off. So my question is, how do you want to get to the north of the island?
Well, it's probably easier to go around the east side.
Yeah, the mountains are quite brutal, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to go. Yeah, I don't think we want to go through the mountains.
The
Forests
thing is,
are clearly dangerous.
the thing is, wait, actually, the castle, is this the castle or is this the castle?
The castle is the one furthest north.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this one, okay.
Castle. The one that looks like a castle.
Yeah, well, like it could have been because it's in the mountains. That it's like the tower here that's kind of hidden in the mountains. And
But this castle also has a mountain to the south of it.
yes. However, I was more thinking that like if this was because if it was here, we would
Yeah, you'd cut across the mountains, but
yeah, then we would also reduce the chances of encountering any well
We
unwelcome
probably,
forces.
I mean, you say that. The mountains is where all the demon birds are.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's also true.
so you're heading around the east side then.
Yeah, because the west side is the west
like
side is much longer and much well.
I feel like if we go east, we have to go through more city, don't we?
Yes.
Also, looking
I mean,
at the map,
we could just go like
if we look at the
out
map,
of the city around forest.
you know, but what I think is because we heard the ship was in the north, right?
Yes.
I think it's here for some reason. Like,
I mean, yeah, my money's like here in this.
yeah. Although, like, I think this might be a little too shallow.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
it's either there or it's
Or
there.
Yeah.
Those are the two most natural looking harbors. I suppose it might not actually be there because there's a lot of obstacles to get it in there. There's lots of like smaller island.
Actually, we
Not
should
at
check
these
the
levels.
reefs on our map because we were smart
Yeah.
enough to get a
Yeah,
copy.
what's the most likely
do.
landing site on the north?
Well,
Give me an investigation check.
I guess we'll figure it out together. And considering you have the better roll,
For God's sake.
Roll twice for Grim helping you.
Oh yeah, cool. Much
Okay.
better. I finally rolled
Here's
above a
the
10.
curious thing.
Oh.
There's... You absolutely cannot work out how they would get a large ship into the bay anywhere in the north.
Huh.
well, that makes that perfect for us.
Hmm. Not even from like sailing along the coast from somewhere else?
Unless there's something in the map that's outdated, or
Yeah.
they've... It would... Even if like a part of the map were incorrect, it would be a fantastic feat of sailing to get it in there.
There is a reason why we should maybe go around the left side. We will be. I think we'll be able to get more cover from the trees. So we
The
don't get
west
spotted.
side.
Like it will be a little sparse here, but like the rest will be a lot better, I think.
Wait, do we want to go through the trees, given that, you know...
Well, do you want to get spotted? Is the real question.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't
I
know,
think
this
we-
place... I mean, this area looks like it's got better coverage because there's not a break in the trees. And also, going via the west is a much longer route.
You say that it's pretty
Well.
much the same.
Yeah, in terms
Yeah,
of
I
travel
guess.
time, it's a discrepancy of maybe an hour or so, couple of hours.
Yeah. I don't know, that's quite a large, bare expanse, and there isn't one on the east side.
Actually, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Like the west side is about 10% longer.
Yeah, because like I said, that's not really a breaking point in the tree line. Whereas that definitely is.
Yeah, but remember what we found here.
Yeah. But that could be in like literally every part of the forest. And if it's like true that she basically has control over the southern side of the island, we'd spend longer in the southern forests going west. Because this area of forest is much bigger than this area of forest.
Yes. But like the closer, like she has them all over the island, but like the ones closer to her, she has more control over.
Yeah.
So the more control she has, the less dangerous they are, right?
Yes, but she did also say that basically her area of dominant control is the region of the house and slightly beyond. So
Yeah.
But regardless, like to be honest, I'm not too scared of those creatures.
I don't know, I think there's more cover to the east. Like if you're concerned about
Like
hiding.
let's let the other people decide
Yeah.
because we are.
votes for east.
Aye.
Votes for west.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's because like, yeah, I know. I've been looking at it, and I'm just like, I feel like there's merits to both ways. But if our intention is to stick in the trees, then going east is ideal. Arya, you're you have more experience with.
Assuming a lot. I mean, I'm just looking at distance here. It's shorter from the east, and there's more trees. So, in my opinion, that's probably the better way to get there.
East it is then, I guess.
Okay, east you're heading.
Well, I feel like we're gonna run into their ship, but I guess that the odds are fairly similar on both sides.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
Bloody
D&D
hell.
if we couldn't hear it.
Okay. Fucking hell. So there's a portion of my encounter table, less than 20% of my encounter table is no notable encounters. I just rolled the dice 4 times. 3 of them, I got no notable encounters.
Nice.
Nice.
Like,
One
well,
of them, however,
Oh.
no.
the Demon Lord shows up.
God damn it.
No.
Tiamat swoops down and attacks. Everyone roll initiative.
Ah, fuck.
Ah,
Alright,
shit.
here we go.
Rip.
We got this, guys.
It
We
was, nice
got
knowing,
this.
it was nice knowing you guys.
Okay.
No, but no, we'll be fine.
We could not fight Tim.
So, by about midday, you have rounded the majority of the mountain base and are heading up through the forest. When Elizabeth, you have the highest perception, correct?
Passive, yes.
Yes. So,
Unless someone somehow has more than 17.
Elizabeth, you become aware of somewhere in the distance ahead of you, probably only a short distance, although you don't have a visual on them yet. You hear footsteps and the sounds of muffled conversation.
In that case, you'd probably quickly, like, grab whoever's leading by the shoulder, presumably Arya, and say, someone coming ahead of us.
The moment she points it out, yeah, you can hear the same thing.
Alright, let's get into cover, guys.
Okay. So you hunker down in the undergrowth. Everybody make me stealth checks.
Can we just
Fucking
say they
stealth
spot
checks.
us instantly?
Right,
Might as
like... Well, okay, here's the thing. Maybe they
Wow,
won't
that's
see
really not
everybody
great.
else.
See?
No.
If I look,
I...
It's okay,
Guys.
guys. I swan dive into the bush.
Yeah.
I swan dive onto, like, gravel with my
Yeah.
metal armor.
Grim and I just fucking high five and it's just metal.
it's just metal
No,
going.
you both-
It's just
You both-
metal.
Yeah, you both go to hide behind the same tree and Grim falls over.
No, we point in opposite directions, just clanking our armor together. It's like, oh,
God.
not that we have the height to do that. but, you
I
know.
just imagine you just run into each other and much like a kid's cartoon, you just hit each other, just go boing,
Fuck's sake.
like a fucking
Oh.
gong. No, it's not
Yeah.
quite that bad.
We
So
Pretty bad.
You can't say we didn't try.
Elizabeth, Arya, and Lyra all duck into the undergrowth. Grim and Kelariis, you sort of like take cover with your backs to the trees. And Elizabeth, from where you're hiding, you see 2 grey-robed figures walking cautiously through the trees with large crossbows drawn and sort of like leveled. And as you watch, they pause. One of them holds up their hand, gestures to where Grim and Kelariis just took cover, and motions to like advance quietly.
Okay.
They begin advancing slowly, crossbows raised.
Are they humanoid figures?
Humans. Well, yeah. As far as you can tell, humans.
Okay.
Yeah. The as they come close enough for you to see, they also have the faded green eye sigil on the back of the robe.
Okay. In that case... Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for this. Can they please make me wisdom saving throws?
Okay.
I'm going to cast hold person on them.
Okay.
On them both.
On both. Wow.
Your DC is 17. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's 2 fails.
Nice.
So, crossbows raised, they begin advancing forward, you pop out from the Hunty, just "Hacha!" and they stop.
Well,
Nice.
there you go.
How long does hold person last?
It lasts. Let me check. I'll just roll it.
1
1
minute.
minute.
Okay, so you have a minute. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, we have 1 minute to act on this, right?
All of you heard Elizabeth cast a spell on these guys and stop
Yeah.
them stop moving.
Well, yeah. I mean, Elizabeth's first thing is to go. Got him.
Do you want me to knock him out?
Let's time him up. Let's not knock him
Yeah,
out yet.
let's.
Okay.
Well, we can learn where the ship is and stuff from them.
Get him tied up, boys.
Okay. Against 2 paralyzed people, there's very little they can do to prevent that. So, with the 2 of them immobilized, tie them up. Minute passes and they become unparalyzed. What do you want to do?
What are you doing out here?
They don't respond.
To punctuate my point, I'm going to draw my sword and put it at their throat.
Okay. You can make me an intimidation check.
I believe in you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Tell me who your leader is.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, Arya.
So yeah, you just draw the sword and hold it into there, and the blade ignites with like the frost energy to it, and you like hold it up against the guy's neck, and you watch the cold magic like spread across his neck and like start to burn the skin, and he's just like, okay, there's no need for that. We're on patrol. Just scouting out the terrain.
You here with the Cabal?
Nods.
And where exactly is your ship?
It's in the bay up north.
I mean, east or west of the castle, or city, or whatever you want to call it.
East.
Yeah.
This side.
Well, that's fire.
I mean, it's not a significant distance from there to the tree line.
Yeah.
You say that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it's a fig tree line. We'll make do.
Where is the rest of your party?
Sorry, directed in context to like the rest of their group.
Yeah, the rest of the group.
Okay. He sort of says, well, it's just the 2 of us and Recon, but the rest of them are camped up at the base of the castle. There's a couple of other scouting parties interspersed among the trees.
Well, how many in total?
Scouting parties, there's maybe 3 or 4 this sort of size, at least on this side of mountains. Of us total, there's probably about 60 of us.
Well, not as bad as it could be.
Still a lot.
It is.
And what have your number been doing about the constructs in the castle?
Mostly staying back and hoping we don't get blown to smithereens like the first lot.
Fair
What
enough.
happened to those?
Well, I really only saw the aftermath, but there was... Most of them were blown to pieces, some of them were, well, melted is honestly the nicest way to put it.
Melted.
Hmm.
Like I don't really know what it is that's defending that fortress, but there's mechanical men and some kind of war machine that just blows men apart. We've been summoning things to try and probe at their lines, but they never even get close.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I'm pretty sure they haven't told you what you're dealing with then.
Sort of shakes his head.
Yeah.
And what have the higher ups told you?
Well, all we know is we're here to recover some artifact that's hugely important. So far, we've discovered that the southern half of the island is completely taken over by sentient plants and zombies, and the other half is full of mechanical death. So, obviously, whatever is here is very important.
Oh, that was one thing we were wondering. Well, I assume the answer is no due to what we've learned from you, but they don't send out scouting parties. The machines, that is. I assume they just keep to themselves.
They have sentries that patrol the perimeter and call out any suspicious activity around the sides, but other than that, no, they stay mostly in the fortress.
How many men are on the ship?
That's a good question. Maybe 14, 15?
And I guess the question that I feel like we all really want to know the answer to, is it just you? Well, scrubs. What would you call it?
Scrubs.
Grunts.
Grunts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Scrubs.
Looking for a more polite way of saying it.
Is Scrubs polite?
No, that's what he's saying. He wants something
Scrubs
more
is
polite than
absolutely not
Scrubs.
polite.
No, but I was more.
That's why I said
like,
grunts.
a more. Yeah, that's why I went for grunts instead, but I couldn't think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, finish your
like-
question.
Yes. Is it just you grunts, or did they bring did they show up themselves? If you know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's mostly us acolytes. Yes, we're here to handle the busy work and do summonings, but there are more powerful people than just me.
Who's in charge? Like of this operation?
The tiefling, I think.
Ah. So she's here.
And where does she normally spend her time?
Well,
She's in.
the majority of the time she's cooped up in a tent on the front lines, but she goes back and forth from the ship every now and again.
Okay. Wow.
What,
This
she's
is-
just supervising then?
She comes and goes. I think she's leading the operation, but I've never seen her do anything more than occasionally stir people into action.
Can I just have you guys for a sidebar?
Sidebar.
Okay. What I'm thinking is
You take the group away like a couple of feet, and like all the two guys left in the clearing are just sort of there, like tied to each other with a wolf
Yeah,
just sitting
they're
there, just going.
fine.
"Rrrr."
I mean, yeah. Also, Scarlet's probably like sat on Elizabeth's head, looking back at them.
Yeah.
so what I'm
I'm just
snarling.
imagining Mushu now.
Yeah, literally.
So what I'm thinking here is we might be able to hamstring them if we could perhaps sink their ship.
How? I guess it
I'm
depends
not
on
sure.
big
How
the
did
ship
we, I mean,
is.
how did we sink the last ship we sank?
Well, they had gunpowder, a lot of it.
Wood still burns.
Yes. But
Yeah, but it
what
depends on how
I'm
big the ship is if we'll be able to do that.
the reason why I'm thinking this might be possible is if it's just like a dozen like these grunts should like I feel like we should be able to handle that. Like, cause
That's true, but we don't know what kind of defense they left in place.
I mean, my thought was maybe we could intercept. I've forgotten her name now.
Temerity.
Yeah.
Severity.
My thought was we could potentially intercept Temerity while she's on a in-between route.
yes, that is
She,
also
she
an
would
option.
she would almost certainly know more than these two.
So
And knowledge is power, especially with the Cabal.
Knowledge is power.
that's the only problem I have. No, never mind. We can't do that. I was gonna say I'm not sure we can leave her alive, but I'm not sure we can just straight up kill her either.
She definitely wants to kill us, though. We know that much.
Yeah, no kidding.
Can't say I blame her.
I definitely blame her.
Oh no, I'm not saying I'm on her side. I'm
I
just
don't-
saying that if I was her, I'd also want to kill you.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm actually surprised that of all people that Arya, that you're the one that would blame her, considering the length she went through to get to deal with that manticore.
Chimera, you mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
Chimera,
but that
yeah.
manticore was evil. Also an abomination. It was like half dead.
I guess that is true.
I feel like
Well-
those situations are very different.
Well, like,
Regardless,
they're
this
both
is
revenge.
unrelated.
No, they're like, yeah, I guess, but
This is unrelated. I mean, does anyone else have questions? Because I can at least think of one other thing I'd like to ask.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
And then the only other question after that is, what do we do with them?
I'm not gonna lie. I see two things happening here. We leave them behind; they get turned into plants, or well, whatever those things are.
Well, we
Or
kill
they
them,
turn
get
us
turned into
in.
plants.
We kill them; they turn into plants. We set them free,
They
and
probably
we
also
have to
get
fight them again.
plants.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
alert
they
the,
also
they
turn
alert
into
the enemy
plants.
to
They
our...
just turn into either way. They end up as plants. It's fine.
Do we want to give them a slow or fast turn into plants? Because that's...
Well, I'm not sure about you guys, but I feel slightly bad about just killing prisoners.
Eh.
like the thing is, I feel like it would almost be a mercy at this point. Like,
I suppose.
what are we?
Is
What are
it?
we? But what else are we gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I
mean-
feel like this is a no-win situation.
We can't
'Cause
afford
if-
to feed them.
We can't afford to take them with us.
We can't babysit them.
No.
We
Yeah.
can't leave them here. Well, we could, but that's the same as a death sentence, but not by our own hand. Well, not directly, at least.
Yeah.
Plus, we might need the rope.
Well, I guess this is last questions time.
I mean, we can just make it painless, and then it'll be fine.
Shall we just carry on then?
I mean, I'm on the side of we just kill them now.
Yeah. Well, I have one more question.
Okay.
Then you can kill them. Are we all good?
Well, after that question, maybe give like a second to come up with something else potentially. But yeah,
Well, yeah. Also, just know as two of us are
So you go back, ask your question.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna say. Are you expecting reinforcements or another ship or anything like that?
Well, reinforcements can come and go from the ship as they please.
Well, but are you expecting another ship? Like, how would people get? Are you expecting others from the mainland?
I don't think you quite understand how the ship works. Basically,
Then how does the ship work?
once the ship is here, people can just... I'm not exactly a wizard, I don't know how it works, but basically they open a gate from somewhere, and then you step through it and you're on the ship.
Ah,
Hmm.
how
Right.
well? How heavily is that gate guarded? Because he said there are about 14 people, but like I assume some of that is, well, support personnel. Yeah, chef potentially, that kind of stuff.
Well, the problem so much isn't the getting through a guard per se, it's getting into the damn thing in the first place. It's the higher ups definitely thought about security in terms of magic and stuff, you know.
Quite.
Well, I guess if they just have a portal, wait, like, is it always the portal's always open, right?
No,
Ah, okay. Good news.
it needs somebody to open and close it. I don't really know who or where that has to be, but
Well, that's not there. That's none of your concern right now.
yeah. Look, speaking of that, I'm not stupid. I know where this is going.
Yeah, well, okay, we'll be honest. We're gonna try sink the ship.
That's fine. Truth be told, I'm in this for my own selfish reasons, and I really would just not like to die in this forest today, if that's all the same to you.
What if
I
you
think
could
he
get
feels
us-
the same. I think sort of the guy behind him is just like, yeah, I'm pretty good
Yeah,
on
like-
the whole not dying thing.
Well, we'll be honest. Like we're not the most, like, we're not really comfortable with the idea of killing you.
Yeah, that,
So what we were considering, or could you get us onto that ship? And if so, then perhaps we can. Well, we've got some magic of our own. We might have the power to open the portal. And then we can send you back, and well, and then
you'd
there's no
have to be able
problem
to disguise yourselves. That place is basically a fortress.
well, one fortress or the other.
Well, if it means you're not cutting my head off right here, right now, I'll do everything I can, but it's not going to be easy.
It never is.
No, I guess that's true. So, are we getting
I mean-
untied?
Well, yeah. I mean, going out of character. Are we not waiting for the American?
What?
Luka and Jayla are both muted.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted.
Ah,
Anyway,
Well, hopefully we didn't miss any important input.
No, I just... All I said was, no, you can't talk, don't make me feel bad, so...
Hmm.
It's fine.
Because
Yeah,
I
I mean-
was starting to sit through that whole conversation going, what does everyone else think about this?
Oh, Jayla's just muted because it's loud, so
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with this. I don't know how they plan to sneak us onto the ship. I feel like that's gonna be almost impossible, considering, like...
Yeah, they don't seem like they have a plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm highly questioning the viability.
They're
Absolutely.
just taking almost certain death over certain death right now.
Well, I will admit, this was more like just hopefully, they'll provide us with something in order to try and live. But
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know if we can't really justify it, can we?
Right now they're trying everything they can think of to not get murdered.
Yeah, but the problem is, the only options we have that aren't murder them are cruel and or like massively harmful to us. Because like even if they really don't want to die here, I highly doubt that if we release them, they'll just go back and not say anything.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
Like the only other options I can think of are just more cruel. Because I was like, we can slow them down so they don't get there for like a couple of days. They might not starve to death.
Well, like, break their kneecaps?
Pretty much. But like, I feel like that's
that's
just a
even
worse
worse.
fate.
You could just point them in the other direction and let them go.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, but what is to stop them
Yeah.
from like just going around and
It's kill them. It's kill them or release them. What do we want to do, basically?
just like like you said, they can loop the entire islands in a day. And if we send them through the plant boys, that's
Yeah,
also
they're not getting out there.
yeah.
It's your decision.
Okay. So we're being a good aligned character is
Yeah.
bad, because I feel really bad about just killing them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as you cast your gaze around the glade, there are no barrels, so there's no easy choices here.
God
Wow! For fuck's sake! Stop bringing that up.
Look, it's
I mean, there's trees, and I have a scroll of fabricate. I could make that.
Oh my god. That doesn't make the murder better.
no, but in a barrel you can hide it easier.
It's like pop-up pirate, but he never pops up.
Oh no. That's dark.
Oh well.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
just came up
Jayla.
with an even worse solution.
Oh.
You know, there's always the classic solution of how to make someone not talk.
What,
You
just like
removed it.
fucking cut out their
Oh
tongue?
my god.
Yeah, but that would be.
I
feel
don't
like,
know about that.
See, I feel like every
That's
other
definitely
solution
evil.
is just more cruel. Like,
It really
Yeah,
is a
you're
case
like
of
either like permanently maiming these men or like
killing
killing them.
You could try to intimidate them into being quiet. That is an option.
Yeah, they do actually seem like, given that they're just
Like,
now
okay.
outburst.
okay, here's my argument for why that still might be pointless. We intimidate them into being quiet. They go to the camp. They don't say anything. We show up. They get alarmed. They have to, well, pick up arms because that's their job. We blow them up anyway.
Yeah, but nah. Honestly, that's the least cruel thing we've suggested so far.
Yeah, I feel like less bad about doing that than anything else.
Oh, okay. I have an idea. I have a great
So-
idea. We're gonna have to fool them a little bit.
Oh no.
Elizabeth, could you pretend to place a mark on that will, I don't know, like let's say kill them, for example,
Oh my
if
god,
they-
you're gonna fake Gaius them.
Yes. We're
You
good.
can
Like,
certainly try.
You want me to pretend to curse them, essentially?
Yeah, let's say like we'll just say it will only stay for a while, but for like we won't tell them how long. Like we'll just say it fades after a while, but the effect lasts for slightly longer.
Ah, I really want to see this bluff.
Is
It
now
is-
the time-
Who's gonna
is
make
now the
this
time-
bluff though?
Is now the time to tell you I am not an actress?
Yeah, I
Well-
don't think any of us are. I think that's the biggest problem with this plan.
The thing is,
I've never been a great
yeah,
liar.
I guess that's a problem. Like it doesn't matter if any of us can actually do the magic, or it doesn't matter because it's not an actual magic. Any one of us can do it.
Yeah, I'm not a great liar.
Well,
Well, whoever is the most convincing liar can lie, and somebody else can do the pretend magic spell.
I'd say we.
I mean, I did already intimidate them. Maybe that would help, because they're already scared of me. Rob?
I mean, they are, that is true. It may help
Like-
you.
I think okay. We should. I think if we come together as a group and be like, well, we've decided to. We've just tell them we've decided to spare you. However, we will have to mark you or curse you for a while.
Yeah, to make you keep your word, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
How good is my deception? A 1. Good.
It's not great, Bob.
Yeah, I've got
Um,
I've got a +2.
I feel like Arya might be the best one to go for it.
I have a 0. Well, okay, I have a 1 in Intimidate. So,
Yeah,
Oh.
Kelariis has a +3.
Kelariis
so.
has base 3 Charisma.
Yeah, so she's got
Well-
+3 deception.
Is Kelariis okay with doing?
So, Kelariis okay with intimidating them?
Lying
Yeah,
to
trying to
them,
deceive-
not...
yeah.
Or lying
Or
to them at
bluffing
least?
them.
Yeah. You are
Yeah, we're
bluffing
trying to
them.
bluff them.
I
But
mean,
you are using the fact that you have an actual wizard and they are already frightened for their lives to make the lie more convincing.
yeah, I mean, it's that or we basically are at the point of executing them, it sounds like.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
personally don't mind telling them basically shut your damn mouths
Shut
and
the
get on
fuck
with your
up!
business.
Yeah.
Keep
It's
your
a
mouth
white
shut.
lie.
If you
A
say
little
you
white
never
lie.
saw us, you'll be fine. If you tell people you saw us, your head will explode.
Oh god.
I almost wonder if it would be more
Your heart stops.
convincing to tell them we will know and we will take care of you. But head
I
exposure
I mean,
probably
that's
sounds
entirely
better.
your phrasing.
Yeah. We need to make it not too out there, otherwise they'll probably know it's a bluff. I mean,
Yeah, we could
something.
just-
I mean, yeah, we could just do the simple thing of if you talk, we'll know.
We'll
Oh.
know and we'll be able to find you.
Well, we'll just say it's the. Remember the spell Vandal could use to mark stuff? We never really used it. I will just say we to make it more realistic. We say we're placing a ward on them.
Well, you know that there are such curses. Such curses do exist because I mean you literally cured a guy of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's also true. But well, regardless of how we're gonna do it, so Kelariis has us deceives them whilst Elizabeth.
Yeah, I will do a hand gesture and mutter in Primordial as if I was casting a spell.
Okay,
Wow.
cool.
Okay.
I won't make you
Let me be clear on the lie.
I won't make you do a performance check to say a bunch of magic mumbo jumbo, seeing as that's your entire class.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm built to do.
So
She's
we're,
good
we're
at that
doing
kind of
the,
shit.
We're doing the we will know and we will find you
Yeah.
lie, right? That's
Yeah.
the deception that we're
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to make sure that I got
And
that right.
yeah,
We'll do
And
whatever
part
you
of-
decide.
We have a very
Because-
particular set of skills.
part of the hand gesture very much involves pointing at them. As I imagine most magic does.
It
Do you have
points at you,
anything-
thumb across the throat.
It's not quite that blunt.
No, that's my magic gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Just
literally
about-
Valve Enmity, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's Vow of Enmity.
So, what are you saying,
That would
Kelariis?
be an amazing way to do it, though.
But yeah, go for it, Kelariis.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Okay. So we're explaining. This is me out of character because again, it was very loud for a little bit there, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. We're marking. Well, Elizabeth is marking quote unquote them.
Yeah.
And we're just being like, "Yo,
Don't fuck with us.
If
don't
you
fuck
tell,
with us. Don't say anything." Okay.
If you tell anyone, you'll die, or we'll know, like, depending on
Well,
what Kelariis decides on.
I mean, just go with Will now.
Uh,
They have a pretty good demonstration of the fact that we can just kill them so fast.
If you tell anyone, you will find a courier will approach you in the middle of the day and hand you a note with a black hand on it that just says, "We've updated our privacy policy."
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
very good.
No.
Yeah. I guess like I just walk over to them because I assumed that we had stepped away to have this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
No, they
that's all.
overheard all of it.
It's fine.
Ah, shit.
Oh,
No,
be sure,
it's not fine.
be sure to mention that it's like that we're wasting magic on it. So, because otherwise, why wouldn't we have done this to begin with? I guess.
Okay.
Oh well, now you know you do what you do. You.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand what you. Okay.
Just
you know,
ignore him.
I
Just
don't
ignore
know.
them.
He
Go
does
up
I
not
don't
there.
understand what that was
Look,
supposed to
this is
be.
the plan, alright?
his-
You're gonna
his
go up
lack
there
of-
with your sex
Yeah.
dragon arm. You're gonna flex those muscles at them, and you're gonna say, "Shut
No,
the
I'm gonna
fuck up,
flex,
keep
it's
it
fine.
here."
I am
Look.
walking over there. I'm going to stand at like my most intimidating posture, like arms crossed. I assume they're sitting or whatever when they're.
They are, yeah, they're both sat on the floor tied to each other.
Yeah, so you know, like looking down as
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, as intimidating and. I was gonna
As
say
intimidating as
but
a 6-foot plate armored juggernaut can be.
Which is pretty
Which is
intimidating.
very.
I like to think it's pretty intimidating. And I guess like to kind of put on a little bit of the thing, I just kind of like incline my head toward them, like at Elizabeth to be like
Yeah.
do this like as I'm talking to kind of just put on that little bit of a
Yep.
a show like we're
Yep.
going to let you both go, but she's going to mark both of you, and if you say anything about seeing us or anything that you've said to us, we will know. So don't.
Okay.
I'm doing
Make
my
me
magic mumbo
a
jumbo.
deception check. And I will give you advantage considering everything that you have put into preparing this.
Oh, alright guys, here's where I have to hope this doesn't fail me. That wasn't great.
Hmm.
Okay.
That
Not
bad.
great.
advantage is not helping at all.
Okay.
Sometimes
So-
it doesn't, unfortunately.
They look visibly intimidated, and yeah, the guy who's been leading the conversation so far says, "Yeah, no problem.
Can I try
I
to
wanna-
insight that?
Yeah, I want to
Because
insight that.
Yeah, go
I
for it."
don't trying to actually lie to these people and, you know,
Just double check yourself.
yeah, double check
Oh.
myself.
Okay.
Bullshit. You can't lie to us, bitch.
Okay.
Can't lie to me.
Yeah, Kelariis, by his tone and body language, he doesn't seem like he's lying. Elizabeth, by his tone and his body language and the rather pungent scent coming from him, you don't think he's
Oh.
deceiving you.
Okay, good.
Lovely.
Ugh.
So, you finish your spell,
Spell.
and yeah, you untie them, and they just sort of aren't really sure whether they should leave.
Okay.
I mean, no, I will say to them, you'll wait here as if you were still on, as if you were investigating something.
Just continue your duties, I guess. You
Yeah,
were heading that way.
we're not
so-
due back for at least another couple of hours, so we'll just go somewhere, I guess.
And I guess we'll walk off.
Okay. You walk off. I just like points at her eyes and then at them, just
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Sokka gif.
yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
I will just like tap the like the it's not hilt. Pommel, I guess, that's
Yeah.
like the back of the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now that's dealt with, do we think
What a
we can?
disaster.
That is the
It's
best
fine.
result. That is better than what I expected.
Yep.
Like,
Congratulations, you
murder-
narrowly avoided being murder hobos.
I've already been murder hobos
I
once.
feel like at that point it's not really a murder hobo.
Yeah, I mean there are enemies, so look,
Yeah.
So,
we all gotta make hard choices.
Like, just because we paralyzed them and got the drop on them doesn't mean they're good.
okay. So, you head into the forest and towards the fortress.
I guess, yeah, we're okay. Well, we'll skip the ship for now. I think we're better off without it for now.
Well, as you reach here, you see, you breach the edge of the tree line and see two things. The first of all is an intimidating fortress.
Yep.
That
Oh shit.
juts up out of the cliffside.
Yeah, that's intimidating. I like this one little building.
Yeah, there are a number of small, what look like either like smiths' workshops or like small warehouses that are stationed like outside of the walls, that look to have been. They don't seem to be occupied, but they seem to be more maintained than the buildings that were in the town. But the fortress towers imposingly over maybe looking down over this plain, maybe like a half-mile away, maybe a bit more, is a small encampment. That seems to have been sort of it's had like almost like a rudimentary palisade set up around it, or at least like wooden barricades have been constructed, and the space between this camp and the fortress does seem to be pitted with a number of what looks like blast craters from perhaps spells. And as you look down beyond the camp towards the bay, you can see the ship that they were speaking of. The thing that surprises you is, well, there's multiple things that surprise you. The first thing is, the ship seems much larger than you were expecting to see sort of in this bay. It takes up like almost a good chunk of this bay. And just as you're wondering how this thing can fit so close inland, you realize that it isn't in the water.
It's floating.
It is levitating a short distance above the surface of the water.
God damn it.
The ship
What if
also
we-
appears to be made almost entirely out of metal.
That would have significantly hindered our ability to sink the ship.
Yes, definitely.
Just have to be more creative about it.
Yeah, the comparison of this thing to a floating fortress is not inaccurate.
Nice.
So, how about a 9th level dispel magic? Just have it drop out of the sky.
Right. That's something we have access to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can give you 6th level.
I mean, hey, it's still a dice roll.
Yep.
I feel like we're not even gonna manage to get a dice roll.
Anyway,
But yeah, so what do you want to do?
Oh fuck.
I feel like that means our plan is grab fucking temerity.
I mean, I agree that we should grab temerity, and I feel like this is again an opportunity for solo again and do that because, no offense, but all of us sneaking into there is not happening.
No, not a chance. Even their camps probably. Well, we see them all wear the same thing. We kind of stick out.
And at the very least, I mean, I could definitely go in and do like reconnaissance so we get a lay of the
Yeah.
land.
Well, I feel like as well, sometimes sitting back and observing can reveal a surprising amount.
Mm.
We could get to a safe distance and simply watch them man the fortress
Yeah.
while waiting for temerity to show up.
Well,
The question is, I suppose, is she on the ship or is she in the camp?
It sounds like she goes back and forth, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but if she goes back and forth, which one is she at right now? And when will she next be traveling?
Well, the only way to find out is have a look.
Yeah.
Like we can try and have a stakeout between the ship and the camp. However, due to the way
Well,
that things are laid out, I
could
feel
we
like
not potentially locate her a bit more precisely? And I will look over to a certain someone who has a super cool magic item, which I
Well,
think might help.
I
before we
can't. Go on. Sorry.
before we do that,
I was gonna say, can you not locate person?
considering the positioning of the ship and the camp, the camp is within eyesight of the ship and vice versa, right? How are we going to jump her without alerting the entirety of everything?
That's why you gotta be sneaky.
Quick.
Yeah, but like, you can be sneaky, but like when you're expecting someone, you can see them walking from one place to
Well,
another.
Well, this is
I
the
feel
thing.
like
If she moves back and
jumping-
forth, and she doesn't really do much. Do you really think she tells them when she's going to be showing up and when she's leaving? I don't think she does.
No, but I think like she might not be walking back and forth on her own, and there's absolutely no way that like there's nothing. I like maybe it needs DM clarification, but there's nothing in between the camp and the ship to hide. Okay, right?
Also think about it. If we
Allow me
Have-
to give you a visual illustration. So, basically, there is between the castle and the camp, there is a stretch of plains with a couple of small hills. Between the camp and the boat, there is very little more than sand dunes and beach.
And it's not like they're not more than an hour apart, are they?
Camp and the fortress.
Oh, the camp and the boat.
Camp and the fortress. There's maybe an hour between camp and boat. It's 35 minutes.
Yeah.
But then again, sand dunes is still. There's still likely to be some places where we can at least be partially hidden.
Like maybe if we were like maybe Arya can pull it off. However,
Yeah.
if
There-
we were have to,
There
like,
is very little
interfere-
physical cover. You'd have to do such a thing under cover of night.
But like I don't see how we're gonna like jump them, like and then like somehow capture or take her out without alerting anyone.
But we also can't. Oh, we can't get on the boat. And trying to get into the camp's also going to be a nightmare.
I feel like we're just gonna have to let this one slide and see if we can get into the fortress. Because if we can get in, the defense, like if they try and chase us, the defenses might take them out.
Maybe.
If they don't take us out, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a gotta survive them, but you know.
But if we go in, if we go into the fortress, we did under cover of night. Although something tells me that we will probably get spotted by the magic that is, well, protecting the fortress. Considering that those craters were apparently caused by some kind of war machine, I assume it can see at night. All right.
Possible.
Yeah.
Or at least we won't alert the camp until it's
Yeah.
a little
This
later.
this certainly is a situation of which rainy cliff do you want to try and scale first?
See, the only other option I see is we just throw some massive fireballs into the camp. We run away, hopefully, like crippling them. However, that would be if we had problems killing those two people. Throwing random fireballs into a camp seems, yeah.
I mean, the problem we had with killing them was that they were prisoners and they'd cooperated. If they'd either hadn't cooperated or weren't prisoners, I'd have had no problem killing them.
Yeah, agreed.
Much like I have no problem. Like, I don't know if that's what you guys decided would be a good idea. I'd happily throw a fireball or two in there, or set fire to the tents in some other way.
And how do you know they don't have any prison there?
Because there's nothing else alive on this island.
'Cause, yeah, nothing else is living on this island. Who have they taken prisoner? More of their own number?
No, they
Not
might have.
power.
Well, let's say they have an expert that they kidnapped and they brought to this island.
I mean, you weren't expecting hostages during the Dragonborn negotiation.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose we weren't.
Like, I feel like blindly murdering people, not even knowing who or what they do. Like,
think-
we might just be killing their chefs.
Okay,
example.
well, here's what we need, right? We need information. We don't have any. Why don't we gather some? Why don't we just watch for a bit?
I feel like I think we can do that till nightfall, and then if we, depending on what we see, we should probably head into the castle. But even if we know what's
Or at
in the
least
camp,
or at least take a closer look at the castle and whatever these soldiers are.
but yeah. Otherwise, we won't make any progress. Do we dare send Arya during the day?
I mean, if I cast Pass Out of the Trace,
Pass Without a Trace hides your tracks and any visible markers. The problem is you've got to cross a huge amount of open ground.
that's true.
Yeah, it's not something you. It's not like it just turns you invisible.
Yes.
I wish it did.
That would be invisibility.
Yeah,
Could I have
exactly.
visibility, please?
Just crawl across the just over the ground floor.
Yeah. Well, trust me, if I had it, I'd cast it on you. But yeah.
Wait, do you have any other smaller scale teleportation?
Pass Out Trace. Or,
Misty Step.
Misty
Uh,
Step.
Right,
that's
that's
only
one
30
use.
And it's only 30 feet.
Mhm.
But I thought Elizabeth, didn't you mention something?
Well, I have teleportation. Nothing that could teleport you guys. I could teleport myself.
Not quite what we need.
No.
Regardless of what we do, we have to remember that even though we kind of intimidate those guys,
Yeah,
they,
it's gonna be much harder to intimidate these guys.
well, I was gonna say, like, for every hour that we spend, or like, the longer we take, the better the odds are that they decide, like, that it might be fake, or they might be better off telling because otherwise they might get punished anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we still have a few hours before they even return to the camp, so that's fine. Are there any buildings around the castle?
There are a number of buildings, yes. Look like perhaps storage warehouses, things like a blacksmith workshop or something.
Are they? Yeah, are they like as run down as the town in the south?
No, they look to be occupied, but not. They're sorry, they look to be unoccupied but maintained.
Okay.
The thing with them is to get close to them. Again, you're going to have to cross some open ground. And once you are in them, you will be very much within sort of like the visibility of anybody who's on the castle walls. The fortress image has like a sort of an idea, like literally you are here, you would be here, like right at the edges of the walls.
The only other thing I can come up with right now, it might be a little intense. We find like a spot that we can kind of climb into the mountain, and we try and get onto or into the castle from behind. Although we might need to observe where their actual defenses are. I am not sure.
Yeah. Well, I feel like regardless of what our plan is, our best move right now is to just try to observe.
Okay. So you are observing for a short time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the scenario. They send some grunts in to try and storm the gates.
So maybe an hour or so passes.
Yeah, I'd also like to send good old Scarlet like 100 feet up, see if you can see any, so that she has that aerial vantage point.
Circles and wheels above the treetops. So perhaps an hour passes until Arya, keeping an eye on the enemy camp, you notice some movement gathering at the barricades. At this distance, it's difficult to tell, but the movement seems to be a number of small creatures, lumpy and misshapen, seem to be gathering at the base, shepherded by 2 or 3 human-sized individuals. One of which seems to make some gestures, engage with the lumpy small-sized creatures, and then point them in the direction of the fortress. And these things begin to sort of like drag and slither and like sort of wobble their way towards the fortress. Elizabeth, give me a religion check, seeing as you have the highest passive perception. Okay. These things, from this distance it's hard to tell, but they're lumpy, fleshy-looking creatures, and you've read stories about lesser demons that are literally nothing more than mewling spawn. If what the cultist you kidnapped earlier suggests was correct, these are possibly the lesser summons that he was talking about. And they begin to make their way up towards the fortress. No sooner do they get halfway than a low horn sort of resounds out like, and you watch as a number of fairly tall, like humanoid figures, sort of like almost seem to like just stand up from the wall top. The main gate at the front of the fortress begins to sort of like slide up, and as you watch, from the main gate of the fortress, something begins to move outwards, something huge. And as it does so, the four of you see this.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Jesus.
So,
Damn.
on 6 massive tracked wheels, a monstrous construct of steel rolls out from the gateway until it is basically halfway out of the gate. And as these creatures like drag and bounce their way up this hillside towards this thing, it's the main long barrel that is on the front of the vehicle aims down, levels, and with a crack that you can hear loudly from as far away as you are, like you're like maybe like an hour's walk away from this thing, it launches a projectile. It fires out at lightning speed, about 120 feet range away, and you watch as you suddenly understand where all these craters are coming from, as this thing impacts the ground amongst a bunch of them and just blows them to fragments. But the radius covers what must be like 30 feet. So like it's a big 60-foot circle is just like blown out of the ground. There's enough of them to keep on coming. It takes a moment to reload, fires a second shot, vaporizes maybe 5 or 10 more of these things. A couple of them manage to get in range. And you watch as a second barrel mounted on the side of this primary turret, a gout of green flame washes across these creatures, leaving like a scorched cone 60 feet long that still continues to burn for a few seconds afterwards. The few specimens that remain sort of begin to turn tail, and you watch as a number of cylinders like pop out from the side of the tank and crackle with energy, and bolts of arcing electricity just go zap 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 through all of the remaining creatures before they can turn and flee. And no sooner does it finish like blasting bolts of lightning and spewing green flame at whatever is left standing, the barrel snaps up to level, and this thing reverses back into the fortress. The gate comes down, and all the figures on the top of the wall just fold away.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
That is the worst.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
So I'm confident in our ability to fight, but I don't think we can take that on head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't fancy your chances just running towards it.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Woof.
is not looking optimal.
I mean, Elizabeth's quite clearly managed to find a way to ignore the fact that she's gonna have to find a way either around or to blow that thing up because
Yep.
she just looked really happy.
Elizabeth is currently just like drawing it.
Yeah, furiously sketching.
Yep.
Good God.
Or at the very least, writing down notes.
Well, that's yeah. It's not gonna be good, guys.
So, yeah.
You know, suddenly I'm really, really enjoying your idea of trying to find a way to sneak in via the mountains.
This is what I'm saying.
Well, it
Because
does.
fuck that thing.
Like, we would have to deal with people on the walls, but that thing will not really be able to do much, right?
Yeah, it certainly seemed to have a lot of collateral damage in its weapons.
Yeah, I don't imagine they'd... If we could get close enough to the fort, that is, I don't imagine they'd turn it on their own fortress.
However,
It'd be far too risky, and I doubt they'd have
I
the
do have
resources
to
for serious wall repairs.
I do have to say, I do have a hunch that these are some masterminds, so they may have thought of something. What that would be to stop us from just approaching from the mountain, I'm not sure. Might just be the robots.
I mean, was
Or-
it not the magma in the mountain? Because it is a volcano, or like at least part of it's a volcano, I think.
Maybe, but I think we should be able to. Well, we can climb up and not like go all the way like into the volcano. We just climb up like halfway up the mountain,
Yeah.
sideways.
So, observing the back of this fortress, it certainly would be possible to scale along the mountain and perhaps like climb into the fortress from that. The only problem about that is the massive sheer cliff face that this is built up against. So your plan is achievable. It will not be easy.
Yeah.
So what you're telling us is we need a Skyrim jump our way up, up the
I know.
mountain.
Basically,
Quick, we need a horse.
Well,
or a paraglider.
I kid.
well, we did buy a climbing kit for each of us for this specific
Yeah.
situation.
No, we did.
Oh
didn't
god,
we?
I was just thinking, I just immediately thought of all the ways that could go terribly wrong.
Yep. Same.
Oh.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
you're gonna tell
Hey.
us we bought climbing kits and now you're too scared to use them.
Excuse me, I'm not scared to use them. I'm just thinking about all of the ways that could go terribly wrong. Also, Kelariis doesn't give a shit. I'm the one who cares.
Also,
Eh.
it's scale a treacherous cliff face or charge a battle tank.
I mean, you know.
Well, if we die, one of them was a lot more glory.
That's yep. See, I like the way you're thinking.
oh god.
No, I don't. Let's not charge the battle.
Also, can I just point
please.
out, I really hope that climbing isn't a strength check. Oh wait, it probably is.
It's
Definitely gonna be a
athletics, I
strength
think,
check.
right?
Well, depending on
I'm a weak baby.
depending on how it is, we can maybe help you out.
Yeah, I'm a weak baby, guys. I've got -1 strength.
Wow.
Well,
I-
you've got left takes, just in case.
I think as the Amber Eagle plan their battle strategy as the sun sets over the mechanical fortress of Lathermann's adaptive army, I think that would be a good place to end our session.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
We are so fucked.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
See, all we have to do is get to the wall, climb in the tank, and now we have a tank.
Oh, I wish it was that easy.
I do, yeah, I would have to agree. Considering this is an automated thing, I don't think we can just jump into it. But
No. Cool if we could. Oh yeah,
I
because
would-
then we
I
could
would
jump
s-
in the tank. We could drive it towards the evil cult's boat and just blast it a whole bunch.
Or we could we throw the tiny boat, like our boat onto it, say the magic word, and suddenly there's an actual boat on the tank. That would be interesting.
What on earth benefit would that have?
I mean, do you see the size of that thing? Like, oh yeah, like here, have a boat the size of, well, they can like carry like a whole squad of people.
Yeah,
That
why
can
would we put it on the tank?
Because it will break the metal potentially.
No, it won't.
What?
What?
Well,
Well, depending on
you
that,
could
like,
certainly try.
like it's not like it's just a wooden ship. It's a magical wooden ship.
Yeah, but it's still a wooden ship.
But like
It's
magic
not
wood.
that
Yeah.
heavy.
It's like if you go into a privy as a druid and then shapeshift into a giant ape. The privy isn't going to stay intact.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
the tank. Yeah. I don't feel like it's quite the same situation.
Anyway, this is a discussion for another time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's not really gonna happen regardless.
No.
So, yeah, after negotiating with Lady Vasulia, surviving a night in Arkay Lathermann's now infested home, making your way through the forests and facing the fortress, I think all that's left to do is to thank you all for playing, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
See ya.